Our next session after lunch, which is the Metaverse Marketing Playbook, a discussion on how brands are taking their fledgling steps into the metaverse. What are the emerging marketing strategies, sectors and brands that are going pioneering work in metaverse marketing, their experiences and learning from the metaverse. And to discuss on all these points, we have with us our esteemed panelist for the day. I would like to welcome Ms. Elizabeth Venkatraman, who is the Joint President Marketing and Alliances, Kotak Mahindra Bank. Please welcome, ma'am. And may I request everyone to please give applauses to all our esteemed panelists. I would like to take the honor to invite Ms. Namrata Singh, who is the Head Metaverse and Digital, Sony Entertainment Talent Ventures, India. Please welcome Namrata Singh. I would take immense pleasure to welcome Mr. Raja Gopal Menon, who is the Vice President, WazirX. Please welcome, sir. We have with us Mr. Subha Srinivasan Iyer, Vice President, is Miss Subha Srinivasan Iyer, I'm sorry, Vice President, Head Media Services, Godrej Consumer Products Limited. Please welcome, ma'am. Mr. Rahul Mishra, who is the Head Web 3.0 Initiatives, Shimaru Entertainment Limited. Please welcome. I could not hear the energy in the claps and applauses. Yes, thank you so much, everyone. Well, we have our session chair, Mr. Neeraj Ruparel, who is the Head of Mobile and Emerging Technology, Group M. Please welcome Neeraj. The stage is all yours now, Neeraj.
Thank you so much. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Looks like your food is super delicious. We still don't have people here.
I have not had lunch, but yes, I can say yes, we can hear you.
All right, super. So I would say this is my 10th panel as a moderator on metaverse marketing. Shows what a rage this has become, right, in the last 8 months, and how kind of marketers have completely adopted to the change which we are seeing here. Today's panel, and let me just do a quick context on metaverse marketing and how it's shaping up. Like, there are a growing number of users on the metaverse space now, but I would say the hype cycle on the metaverse is coming to its end, which means the real value is going to get realized in times to come, and that is what we're going to be discussing with our eminent panelists today. Now, each one on the panel today is unique in terms of the body of work which they are trying to pull off as industry at large, right? So we will just start quickly with one of the pioneers, I would say, on the brand side in this space, which is my colleague Shubha. And I think back in the days, 2013. So every time we talk about metaverse marketing, and people say this is, and people directly connect to it and they say, okay, 2003 Second Life, right? And they don't come across any other connect other than that. But Shubha here worked on a metaverse platform at Godrej Consumer Product called Gojio, really early in the days, which is 2013. So Shubha, we would love to hear that. What was the thought launching it really ahead of the time? What worked for you? What didn't work? And you think this is the right time? Should we reload it?
Thank you, Neeraj. First of all, thanks to be amongst all of you. Love and completely adore each and every brand and business and person who's sitting here. So, and very happy to be amongst all of you. Neeraj, the moment you said metaverse and we were on that group and talking about it, in fact, instantly I was transported to 2010 and 11, and sometimes, it helps being there and having done that, that continuity I've had on the business. And the whole idea for us, Gojio, was basically our experiential platform where all users could just go live an alternate life, exchange, trade, party with each other, don different avatars, and we created a very beautiful platform, and of course it was ahead of its time, and now I am here, sitting here to say that we were ahead of time. But the idea from the brand perspective, and probably this will also sort of connect to what is the role of metaverse. The idea was to give specific brand experiences to consumers, facilitate things like, now this is the business part of it, facilitate things like trade, exchange, subscriptions for certain categories as a long term, because at that point in time, we had envisaged that in future, people may veer more towards automated ways of delivering products at their doorstep. So, and of course, this is like much before e-com took shape the way that we experience it today. So, it's like a great sense of, sort of, I literally get to see that and I get to see this. So, I am like super positive about what Metaverse can do for brands.
You think we should reload this now?
Absolutely.
In 2023 with lot more power.
I just hope I get some budgets and I'm like ready to activate it again.
All right, super. So if we were to reload this in current times, right, and the question is to Rahul because he's created some amazing experience on one of the virtual worlds, which is Decentraland, where audience can walk in virtually in your trendy avatar and you can watch movies out there. So if you were to reload an experience of this caliber, how do you do this in current times? And what has changed?
So yeah, I'll obviously speak from the Shimaru context, and what we are actually more focused on is what does entertainment mean in the Web3 world? Okay, obviously you've got a blockchain integration happening, which is helping you realize commercial value, distribute content, a lot of new things happening. But there's the other side of it is immersive content experience. And what is the definition of immersive content experience? Unfortunately, I don't have an answer for that. It's still being developed. One of our first experiments we launched, was the first ever theater on Decentraland. It's called Shimaru Theater. And every Friday we screen a film where users, by the way, on Decentraland, you don't necessarily need to have a MetaMask wallet. You can also log in as a guest. You come in there, you go to the lobby. The lobby has, obviously, like a cinema theater. It's got a lobby, it's got a cafe. You pick up a popcorn, a virtual popcorn, you can't eat that. And then you walk into the theater. And the difference here is, obviously, you can watch the same content on your mobile phone, but this changes the way you view a content. So if you move forward, the screen becomes bigger. You move back, the dimension changes. So you actually take a spot in the theater like you would in a real theater and watch a film. But you can also talk to people next to you. So the advantage here is, for the first time, you can actually ask your friends from US, Australia, wherever in the world to come together and experience a movie you've cherished or want to watch together. I think that's the space currently we are operating at.
That is something I would say is the most unique part about the metaverse space. Now imagine we are working on a use case wherein a physically challenged person, he can create his own avatar and he can move into a Lady Gaga concert without a visa or a passport, and he can dance to the tune of Lady Gaga out there. That's how powerful use cases are going to get built in. So clearly the hype cycle has come to its end, but we are seeing real value now and solutions are getting built. Like cinema is a classic example. We also ended up doing an interesting campaign for Airtel, which was a multiplex which was being created inside the metaverse space, right? So a lot of brands are waking up to it, creating multiple experiences out there. To this, I would just like to go to Namrata and talk about the entire 5G wave which is kicking in, right? So 5G is not just about viewing video. It's going to be big on computing and I would say lean client and heavy lifting on computing. And pixel streaming is going to play a big role. When you talk about India's smartphone device ecosystem, 65% of the devices are in the price band of 10 and 15,000 and below, right? So we haven't even moved into that space. I'm not saying pixel streaming is a way to go for a sustained metaverse experience. It's going to be like seriously expensive. But for the kind of properties which you guys are working on, which is on concerts, you can actually build concurrent users. Like in the past, in the last 8 months, India has seen a lot of concerts, even globally. I think the most talked about concert was Travis Scott. And not even a single guy on Travis Scott entered through a VR device, to Anil's point, right? The lens is what we keep talking about. Everyone entered through mobile device, right? And that's the revolutionizing work which Namrata and team are putting up, which is going to be concerts which are going to be super scalable. So even if you are on lean client, or a bandwidth of as low as 10 Mbps, sitting somewhere in rural areas with a mediocre phone, you will still be able to access the artists which you guys manage, right? So what's your take on that? And what are you building?
So what are we building? So 5G plus Web3 plus what you're calling emerging tech, which is multiple other things, right? I think it's a very interesting proposition. We all come from, I come from a media house, so does Rahul. Media properties are essentially things you're already familiar with. So I know Sholay, right? I know Amitabh Bachchan. I know Varun Dhawan. I know these people. But there is a one-arm distance, right? You don't really get to see them, touch them, be with them, get the amount of time you want to get with them. There's a rarefied access to these guys which currently exists, which is great because it makes them megastars. But the next generation that we are looking at, and I'm sure you're facing similar things when it comes to consumer play, they want to be in the experience with the star as stars themselves.
Yes.
This is a generation which is not looking up, which is looking like this and saying, oh, you're great at this, so am I. So the example that you gave that, you know, somebody who could be handicapped but could be without a passport attending a Ariana Grande concert, or next could be an Indian concert happening in Fortnite, right? Yeah. Why not? Who's stopping us? Fortnite is a Sony company. They should be doing an India concert for sure. So the idea here is we have a space called Eternals, which is what he said, which is cloud-based, on mobile. You don't have an app. The whole idea is to be a www metaverse play, which means it's just a URL you go to. You go there, you either go in as a pre-existing avatar that is already there, or you choose. You want pink hair, you get pink hair. You want golden shoes, get golden. That we have as older people of saying that, okay, what you get in real life cannot be replicated in metaverse. I kind of disagree on the simple fact that what you're getting out of every experience in your life is an emotional gratification. And the emotional gratification in an immersive environment is as powerful for a person for whom that environment is familiar. And what 5G will do essentially is open it up to everybody, and the familiarity will come just like it came for e-commerce as a play, or even a Second Life when it first came. We had nowhere to go to experience. Now you can go wherever you want. You can go to a Roblox, you can go to a Sandbox, you can go to Eternals, you can go to a Shimaru, you can go to a Airtel. It's just a URL. There's nothing special required, no headset, nothing. The sound quality is great, the artists are brilliant, you can talk to them, they'll talk back with you. There's a concert ticket which could be an NFT, which is something I own forever. These are multiple digital economy plays that you are having in one single 3D world, which so far is 2D.
So let me bring in Raj here. Raj, what's your take on all the cool work which is happening on the social token space? And NFTs, obviously now the novelty value of NFT has come to an end. There's a lot of grey conversations around it. But again, there's a lot of utility value which is attached to it. So one of our recent work on GEMS NFT for kids, right, which I was talking about, where parents can actually click a picture on a piece of art which kids draw, put it up on gems.com, that creates an NFT, and the funds generated, they go for education of underprivileged kids. It's a brilliant example of a utility which has gotten created, you know, NFT for social good. So what's the kind of work which is happening on the social token space and the NFT space? And I think I keep hearing about a lot of these soul-bound NFTs. So some bit of intel on that as well for our audience. Now, seems like everyone is back now. We are going to go full throttle in the next 30 minutes.
Everyone's back with a full tummy, and I hope you're not falling asleep. So just a show of hands before I dive straight into Neeraj's question. We're talking about metaverse and all that. We are Aam Aadmi. So I just want to figure out how many of you own crypto? So
Maybe you can count it on
yeah. So it's a handful of people here. So and you guys are the early adopters. So a lot of what we are saying here in this panel, you might hear it, but you will not be able to absorb it, in the sense that you need to experience it. So why metaverse, why crypto, why NFT? I'll just spend 1 minute on each of them. Why crypto? Because we truly believe that blockchain is the most disruptive technology since the introduction of money. And I'm not exaggerating, just do a little bit of reading. That's one. Two is that a metaverse why is everyone talking about the metaverse? Why are serious people or like, all of us here talking about the metaverse? Because a metaverse, when you look at it, frankly, it looks like a 2D animation, very kiddish out there, right? It's a kiddish world out there. It's animated. Everything is cartoonish. I'm making it very simplifying it so that you guys get it.
I have my own meta-human, which is closer to me. It's transforming now.
You're good looking anyway without your online avatar. But the idea is that it looks very rudimentary at this point of time. But the metaverse is of tremendous importance because for the first time in the history of the internet, creators can absolutely monetize their content. Creators is just one part of it. Okay. The blockchain, the metaverse, everything is the internet of money. So you can hold virtual concerts in the metaverse, which is what the panelists were talking about, charge people for it. Gucci is now selling sneakers on the metaverse. So Gucci, you ordinarily know how much it costs, but on the metaverse it costs only $12. Why? Because it's aspirational. People want to be associated with Gucci. So your cool avatar will have a $12 Gucci sneakers. And you can go all around the metaverse strutting it. Why is this important? Because we are living in the world of exhibitionism. Okay, everybody wants to look cool online. You want to put your best foot forward online. And what is the point of investing so much on a pair of trainers when you can put it on your NFT avatar and show it to everybody? So that in a nutshell is why it is important. And mota moti, what is in it? Why should you be in the metaverse? The most important thing for you to get your next promotion is to get your boss to do a press conference on the metaverse. Aapka PPT bhi ban jayega, it will go to your overlords in the US and the UK. Your objectives, your KRAs for that quarter would be done. So I'm just giving you some practical tips because I have gray hair in terms of marketing. But diving straight into what Neeraj is talking about, Neeraj briefly touched on social tokens. Now, social tokens are, so Bitcoin is a token, Ethereum is a token. Social tokens are tokens that are being, they've taken the world by storm because football clubs are monetizing their audiences through tokens. So what does a token do? You can buy a token on any exchange. So you can buy a PSG token, you can buy an AC Milan token, you can buy a Juventus token. And what the token does is that you become a part of an exclusive club. So we know how tribal football fans can be, but in this is how clubs are monetizing that tribal mentality. You own a stake in the club that you're so close to. So if you've been watching EPL, you pass your fandom to the next generation. So this is how big fandom is when it comes to sports. So what this does is that what does this token do? It allows you to actually, okay, fine, if you have this token, you can actually vote on what the next jersey is going to be. You get exclusive benefits. You get discounts on NFTs. So, they are being bundled together with NFTs. And when you go and to a match in the AC Milan Stadium, you get an NFT stating that you were there. So if you've seen Twitter and you've seen social media, you see all these old tickets, I was there sort of a moment. Now this is what NFTs do for you. And social tokens are one way of tapping into the deep tribal fervor of a lot of people. Now think of what you can do with IPL here. You see the same excitement of IPL that you see in EPL. So this is the first step towards monetizing your associations with a lot of artists, with a lot of football clubs, sports clubs, and so on and so forth. I think I rambled too much.
No, that was perfect. I think the entire subject needs a lot of coaching. So this was a quick 101 on NFT for you guys from Raj. I think, thank you so much, Raj. This kind of demystified a lot of grey thoughts which people might have on this subject. This needs a lot of coaching for sure. So one of the initiatives which WPP launched on NFT was WPP's NFT Forest, when we are asking our employees to go and plant a simple tree using the Polygon chain, right? This was being done by our Turkey office. So they need to activate MetaMask, they need to get a crypto wallet going and spend a minimal amount just to go and plant a tree, which creates a lot of awareness about this space, right? So more and more organizations would step in, build that level of awareness. India is already number one, is what Liz was telling me in terms of the volume, right? So, and we are seeing on BFSI, there's a lot of action which is happening in the region, I would say. So there's a mad race of brands going and picking up real estate on virtual worlds and creating experiences out there. So how do you see this as a BFSI leader?
I think overall we've seen in BFSI there are all kinds of models emerging, and it's time for, right now it's time for brands to experiment, try things out and see what's working for them and in what areas they want to engage. So if you look at some of the examples that already exist worldwide, I think there's an American bank who's done Onyx, if some of you have seen it, and they have a Meta lounge. And it's very interesting. You could be standing next to a lion, you could be watching a CEO video, you could be watching credentials. It's absolutely interesting to pick an avatar and be there and lounge in a bank with some animals, with some other avatars. It's free, and it's also sort of breaks the the traditional definition of an actual bank branch or an actual bank office, which you imagine to be very, in a particular way. So I think one, it gives brands to, really stretch their imagination and help variety in experiences, in the way we can offer things. So that's one kind of thing. And this has been done on Sandbox by this bank. But there's another example of, I think, some of the Korean banks who are making their own and making their own very interesting experiences. They are testing branch beds. In the meta branch beds, they're calling it, because, regulatorily, because BFSI is regulated in terms of currency, in terms of requisites of a branch, because there are certain things that make it, a branch. So given that, there are only some dimensions which they are experimenting with. So they are experimenting with various things and seeing how customers respond to it. So all kinds of formats are available. We'll really have to see how everybody, how everybody responds to it, because finally, he asked the right question, how many of you use it, etc. It is all about adoption, how you find it interesting. And I think there'll be different segments of customers who respond differently. I think she said that, she's demystified that you always believe that you want so much of hardware, so much of software, how difficult is it to get onto it? So I think that's been demystified. You just need to have web access. And there was some demystification from here on what you really, it's all very, if it's all very cartoonish, then does it really appeal to the older segment? But I think some of the early research that we've done says that people want to break free. They want to be very different. They can do things that they really can't do in the real world, in this world. Be someone else and choose even, another kind of a personality and be someone else and catch up with friends, or do serious things like banking, or come to a banking, lounge and do something very, very interesting over there. So I think there's going to be a space for, even in BFSI, to answer Neeraj's question, whether it could be engagement, it could be commerce, it could be service, it could be, I can see we ask in the future curating products and services for this area with digital currency, etc., being spoken about. There are myriad possibilities, and we're absolutely eager and looking forward to it.
Perfect. So you heard our panelists. Metaverse seems to kind of encapsulate everything, right? Right from augmented reality to virtual worlds, blockchain, NFTs, and beyond. It's a vast subject. So let's just pick up individual subjects within Metaverse, and let's just talk about some use cases. That's going to be super relevant for the audience as well. So let me start with Liz first now, since you waited for so long, because I was trying to build the audience for you. So, so let me just start with...
Thank you, Neeraj. I think I woke up everybody. I hope so. With the lion in the lounge.
Still need to fill in a lot of people out there. I think food is really good, yeah? Anil, just go and make it a hard stop. Okay, super. So we'll start with, and you mentioned a very interesting thing, that when a BFSI player is picking up a virtual LAN and creates a lounge experience, right? And you said that augmented reality is going to be the soul, where people can go click pictures with a celeb or a meta-human avatars is what we were discussing, right? More and more star celebrities are creating their own meta-humans who are going to have a major play in times to come. So any use case by you guys, by Kotak, considering you have such a powerful, super energetic personality, I wish we were like at least 10% energetic as Ranveer Singh. We would have rocked the stage.
So true, and I think that is well said and so true. The thing is that we had done a campaign. It's an interesting campaign which was for 811, our digital savings bank account, where we had said India invited. The main concept was that everyone's invited. There is like digital in its very inherent form. Does not really include or exclude anybody, right? So this bank account really welcomes everyone. And we had used a red bench, for those of you who've seen this campaign with Ranveer Singh, to bring that alive. And the red bench was really about inclusion, bringing everyone together, uniting, because this was one bank account where everybody was invited. So to bring this alive, we had done an AR sort of experience a couple of years ago. It's actually 4 years ago, where anyone could sit on the red bench with Ranveer Singh and get a photograph. So everybody had photographs. Whoever came to our activation events had a photograph with Ranveer Singh. And I think this is just one of those small examples of the possibilities. And this was not even with all the stuff that we're talking about in the panel today. This was 3-4 years ago, very, very much cherished with India and its love for Bollywood and that whole frenzy around fandom and with the whole frenzy around Ranveer as well. So this worked very beautifully, where his time was is always limited in how much he can reach out, but everybody got, a piece of that.
All the more reason you should create his digital avatar and get audience to play around with him, right?
You can actually take it to the next level, Neeraj, combining what both of you are saying. For every person who opens a bank account with Kotak gets an NFT drop of Ranveer Singh. It's as simple as that. He says, hey, and that
Here's
becomes...
a solve, see, it's an immediate one.
I'm sending her a bill later.
Nice, and thank you so much for ideating for us.
So another interesting topic is, we all know that Metaverse is for Gen Z audiences, right? But industry is already seen, and especially in India, there are tons of use cases which are created, which are cross-segment. So India also saw the first wedding which was being created on the Metaverse. We also saw Kids Award show on Decentraland, which was a Viacom and Perfetti coming together to create that experience targeting kids out there. There was a very interesting campaign, which is, I would say, the only campaign when it comes to Metaverse for rural India, where UP Forest Department and Colgate came together to create a Women's Day kind of environment. And those ladies, tribal ladies from UP Sonbhadra districts, were being invited with the help of volunteers to come over in the Metaverse and create a piece of art, right? So there's a lot of work which is happening cross-segment in this space. And I would start with Raj now, that what is happening in the space of women and Metaverse and women and crypto? I think there are some promising numbers. And then we move on to Shubha, who's an early investor on NFTs, and we build that story.
Women are flocking to crypto. WazirX, which is India's #1 crypto exchange, the numbers more or less are, I think, in sync with what financial products are. It's an 80-20 ratio. When it comes to 80% are men, 20% are women. But when it comes to women, the story becomes that much more interesting. And incidentally, more than 80% of the users are under 35. So just give you some profile. And of the women, 65% of them are all from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. So, you would think that these are, women from Bombay, like we have like Shubha and Liz and Namrata. But incidentally, women are taking to crypto like nobody's business. And incidentally, the motto of crypto is to empower you. That's what crypto, one of the benefits of crypto is. And women are taking to it like nobody's business. In the height of the bull run, which was in 2021 December, just 6 months ago, we were seeing 1000% increase over the previous quarter when it came to women. Bitcoin was going through the roof, transactions were going through the roof, and women were just, registering and buying crypto on the side. I think women are getting more and more involved when it comes to financial decisions that everybody knows, but they're also experimenting a lot. You wouldn't have thought that women would experiment with crypto because they're normally considered to be more conservative, and men take all the risks. I know I'm oversimplifying a lot, but women are taking to crypto like nobody's business. Over to Shiva.
But this is an amazing piece of information, right? You don't get to hear such stats. Anything on Metaverse, it's all global studies, Ipsos studies which are floating, right? No India-specific numbers out there. So thanks so much, Raj, for those insights out there. Now over to Shubha. I think she is one of the early investors in crypto. She's an artist, by the way. So let's hear your view on NFTs and where is the hurdle, one, to quitting job and making money out of this? This should be your career, I would say.
Neeraj, thanks for that. In terms of NFTs, see, my entry into the world of NFTs happened quite by accident. I've been painting like for now decades. I'm a self-taught artist, apart from being a number crunching media planner and a strategist and a marketer. There are these two parallel lives that in real life that I lead. And one of my friends just accidentally happened to notice one post on Instagram and she said, oh, but this should be an NFT.
Yeah.
Okay, and I was like, Abhi, who will go create a wallet? This is so much of learning to do, right?
Yeah.
But eventually, this lady, she kept prodding me, and every time I used to converse, her first line would be, oh, did you make an NFT? And the marketer in me finally had to bite the bug because I said, okay, there is no better way than to start from scratch. And simultaneously, I also decided, for the heck of it, to get onto a few platforms. And of course, I struggled to get an invite on WazirX because I was an unknown artist, but I eventually got. As I started doing this from scratch, I also learned the whole deal, the A to Z of creating NFTs, getting on to multiple wallets, operating them, creating a crypto account, and then I also started trading on crypto. And of course, one learns by mistakes, and my biggest learning, and I'm richer by that experience of 12 months, and I'm so glad for it. Of course, I made a lot of terrible mistakes. If I look at it back as a marketer, now I know as a brand what are the things I shouldn't have done. But the most interesting part, and I'll come to what does a brand have to do with an NFT. This is the part that really intrigued me, because as I was going through those steps, I kept asking myself that, okay, is my brand relevant? And I really was, sort of floored by the...
I think you also pulled off an NFT use case at Godrej Consumer, right?
No, not really, not yet. I will very soon, very soon. But what really blew my mind is, here is one way of creating those deeply engaging conversations, those relationships that today we live in such a heavy, cluttered world, that this here is a huge potential opening up for brands. And as I was learning across those 12 months, and I continue to learn as we speak, because right now, of course, it's a bear market, but of course, everything that goes from here is going to only go higher and better, right? That's how I see it. There is still, we've only explored the tip of an iceberg. I have seen your case, the GEMS case is like very close to my heart, because that's one great example of a brand creating a beautiful connection. How do you engage a parent and a child and art? Because NFTs are all about creator economy. How do you create that intimate, conversation? And how do you stay relevant? So as a brand, I would say the question to ask is this really relevant to my audience? Is there anything that is going to be deeply moving about an experience that I'll be able to create for my brand? And if that is a yes, no matter how small the numbers are today, it's a great idea to just, begin, jump into it and start and experimenting with it. And there are also, now my artist side wants to also say something, that there is this whole universe of extremely talented artists. And it is just so mind-boggling, and the sky is the limit, because in the real world there exists this whole gallery system, which is a very curated and a very closed door kind of a system. And this is where NFTs have managed to, set the whole world free for artists specifically, because you can be any artist practicing any form. I know artist friends who released, a full Hindi single in the form of NFTs of 2 minutes. I mean, that's possible as NFTs. You can release your own little movie that you really want to distribute it wide across the world, and there will be takers. So that sort of opens up, so many avenues for people.
If you couple this with generative AI, what you're seeing today,
fabulous,
right? It'll be
yes,
fabulous. It
yes,
can go to another
it's
level.
fabulous.
So let me bring in Namrata now. She manages about, and we were talking about artists, so it's a perfect segue to you, for you to add those 45 talented artists which you manage. How do you intend to scale the NFT experiences or the virtual world experiences with these artists?
So I think we are the
And
only.
what's the play for marketers? I think that's super critical.
So I think as a talent business, we are an advisory business. So we essentially, I think we're the only talent advisory business which has traditional talent. So the typical Bollywood, TV, film, music artists. So you have that roster. But we also have non-traditional artists. So there we have people like her. Of course, we'll speak to her as an artist post this panel for sure. Thank you for giving us a new one. We work with people like Gitanjali Rao. We work with somebody called Marin, who's a graphic artist. We work with somebody called Lekha Washington, who makes installation. She was the only Indian artist to go to Burning Man with installation this time, which we will look at converting into an NFT. That is definitely on the cards. I think we're the first ones to also look at, so on 14th of this month in Delhi, in Bikaner House, which is iconic gallery space, but to break that wall that you just spoke about, right? What we've been able to do is, we have a physical exhibition of 40 greatest painters of the country exhibiting art, just to celebrate 75 years of India, 80 years of Mr. Bachchan's. So it's like, cinema and India go together. Like you said, we are a Bollywood country, so to say, and Mr. Bachchan is the moniker for it. But while some people will come to the gallery, not everybody can, the entire experience has been replicated in a virtual gallery space. And that will get opened up to everybody. It's a non-ticketed URL as of today. It's a URL. You don't need anything special. No headgear, nothing. So it's as simple as
I think some of the audience, they believe that metaverse is truly experienced with immersion.
Yes.
Right? And Anil is one of them.
But to add to that point, right, the immersion and the cartoony part that we just spoke about earlier, the metaverses that we are trying to create, which in the simplistic form are 3D worlds, right? The 3D worlds that we are trying to create, because we are not US, because we are not Europe, and because we are India, we are not a gaming country. We are an engineering country. We are a country of doctors. What that essentially means is, we don't get carried away by the graphics of cuteness. We all want photorealistic, very pretty worlds. So whether it's creating a world for a brand like Nestle, or for an Airtel, or for whoever, the worlds look really, really pretty and photorealistic. The humans are meta-humans, where they actually have the entire the emotional range of a human. So India, I think, is very different when it is building its metaverses. I think it is building for the human experience, not for the cartoony version of the gaming universe of the West, which I think is the primary difference of why brands will adopt here faster, along with, of course, 5G being right here already. Some of our phones have 5Gs. So that's the latest fight. I'm sure you guys are facing this. Airtel phones don't have 5Gs yet. They have. Airtel phones have 5Gs. V phones don't have.
Clearly, what she's saying is what Web 1 did for US and what Web 2 did for China, Web 3 would do it for India.
Absolutely.
India is like rightly geared right there.
Absolutely. This is a very much a make in India story. Our dynamics are different. The way we look at art is different. The way we look at metaverse creation is different. We are engineers first, which means our metaverses are utility-led. There's lots happening there. Even if the wallet doesn't work, we'll find 5 other ways to make sure that something gets paid for. So even if that means we use a GPay or a Razorpay, so be it. but we will find a way to make this extremely useful and utility-led. So that is one part of it. And as a talent business, what is critical for us is, of course, to have a global play, but the India play itself is very large because the mobile population is very large, right? Yeah. So as of right now, of course, we are all constrained thanks to the legality of Indian law, so to say, but the first big, as Sony, for example, we are doing a very big launch in US as of right now with artists. Paresh Maiti can be bought using a credit card. You don't really need a wallet. So those kind of, I think these kind of use cases are now happening. We are solving for real problems. We are not solving for problems from the West. We are solving for problems for here, for our brands, for our celebrities, for our artists, so that we have our own ecosystem. And thankfully, the ecosystem supports us on the skill set side. So I think that's great.
So
I'd just like to add,
we have
Neeraj,
about...
just one quick point, sorry. Namrata looks after talent, but India's got talent, right? Now, when you go to Jaisalmer and you go to a hotel, what you typically see is this Rajasthani couple, they come and sing this beautiful Rajasthani number, a folk song, and you're moved to tears because it's so emotional. So what happens, so how can NFTs and the metaverse benefit that poor family out there? The basic rule is that if you can find 1,000 real fans for an artist, his life is made. So if this guy actually makes an NFT, gets 1,000 NRIs to pay $100 for it, it's $100,000. So, and the beauty about NFT is that every time it switches hands, the artist still gets royalty for it. So this is a real world case for what, so this is why we say crypto can transform lives. Most of us, everybody thinks this is all, hype, but no, this is here to stay. So everyone needs to take it a little seriously.
Absolutely. It almost, have a question? Yeah, please. So we have about 5 minutes, so we would just do a round-up conversation, but let's take Anil's questions first.
Anil here. Currently, the metaverses are being built by individuals, by companies. They are all separated. They are all in compartments. So I see a future where all of these possibly will get connected in some way, so that they are all integrated, like the internet was. Forums disconnected, they got connected, computers got connected, it became the internet. Now, in that kind of a scenario where all the metaverses are connected, Maruti has its own metaverse where they are for the distributors, for the retailers. In that case, since we'll be spending some time, being in that metaverse, how is planning going to be done in that? How is targeting going to be done in that? Targeting those eyeballs. So will brands use these individuals who are spending time in the metaverse? How will they target them with different products? How will brands start marketing in that?
Rahul, you want to take that?
I think I may not be the... Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Interestingly, I think the metaverse offers... Okay, I won't have a full expert view on this, but metaverse offers you a lot more data points than Web2 did. If we look at the metaverse in the immersive way, you actually can capture more from the consumer, including heartbeat, acceptance of, understanding their eye movement to a lot more detail. And I think that's going to be extremely useful data points. So there are, digital outdoor brands in the metaverse already, which are catering to brands, and they're capturing such data, which is gold, for every advertiser.
We're going to look at compliance as well. Like one of the things which we are looking at on the gaming VR inventory, when your retina dilates, you can put a cola ad out there.
Yes.
But can you do that? Is the question.
And the second part is, so right now on the metaverse, your information is sent back to the metaverse, right? But can it send information back to you in some way, which is non-visual, but emotes you to behave in a certain way. So there are many aspects being opened up for that.
Just to add to what you both said, what is very interesting to remember is you're in the metaverse as an embodied being, right? As an embodied version of yourself. So by default, I no longer have just access to you and a machine, you're in the machine, right? So I actually think of it getting a scanned version of you in terms of your emotional response to things, number one. And the matrix will not be kitne followers hai. It's not a follower and like game. It's a game of how much time is somebody spending somewhere. Am I spending 5 minutes in this world? Am I spending 15 minutes? Is the concept interesting enough that I'm spending 15 minutes with the artist, or am I standing on the side eating? I'm capturing all of this for the next experience. I'm also changing things on the fly while the experience is going on. A lot of this is happening live. Your matrix will not look like social media matrix at all, and that is the biggest upgradation I think brands would have to do, because the brief
Somewhere we don't even want to go that route. You know, it shouldn't be like the brand stickering on the metaverse. It should be brand storytelling inside the metaverse. The brand gets immersed, right? So that should be the way to go.
Yeah,
Liz, you want to add to it?
Yes, I think that it's well said. It's all about engagement. It's all about the customer. If we can't offer that kind of engagement, which the customer opts for, then we are failing as marketers. So they should not even feel it. It should be so.
Will Kotak have crypto ATMs or wallet ATMs in the metaverse where I can go and encash, or will I just do this and the money will come in my hand? That will be a Kotak money.
So I'm just not going to, I'm going to skip that question, Anil, because there is regulation.
RBI has to allow it in the first place.
I totally agree.
So there's regulation.
We'll ask this to RBI, I think. We'll pose this question.
I would say, but we are looking forward to the digital currency that's going to come in. But however, like I said, one, there's a brand and there is BFSI. As a brand, I think multiple, like whether it's engagement, whether it is, products and services, whether it's all kinds of things are possible, and that's something we're looking forward to. And as an industry, I think we will need to see what is permissible, what we can do, what we can't do. But I think that there is immense possibilities because we have so many stakeholders, etc. But again, coming back, it will the thing here will be, if the one thing that I find common with social media is that even social media requires us to be engaging. We do not measure followers, actually. We only look at engagement. And that's the same challenge that we will face in the metaverse, and 10 times over. So our jobs are going to be 20 times tougher. While all the possibilities are laid out, how do you, really up the engagement quotient with such a vibrant medium? I think that will be the crux.
What's the role of the agency at that stage? Because traditional media buying will not happen. She'll have her own metaverse unit within a metaverse team, which would be penetrating different metaverses or possibly engaging in different metaverses, which I hope will be connected in the future, maybe 10 years, 7 years from now. So what's the role of the advertising agency? What's the role of the media planner? Because everyone will have their own perspective on it. Will there be a metaverse agency, or will it be just everyone, each one for himself or herself?
Oh, I would say it's going to be like a creative heaven for creative agencies. Like metaverse is going to be a heaven for creative
media agencies, the guys who buy and sell. Creative and developers, there's going to be a great deal of potential.
So that is what you will see more and more integrated planning, where creative and media agencies will come together. And
first they disintegrated, now they're integrating again. Disintermediation happened, now again in integration.
No, but now they have to integrate to pull off one of the best creative technology projects, right? So that is something which all the agencies are gearing up for, where the creative guys, they sit with the tech folks and they build creative solutions. That's what we are upskilling our guys on. We've got record number of Unreal coders now in our system. We call them creative technologists, guys who can think technology and who can also think creatively, right? So you will see more and more of diverse talent coming in from agencies, complete agencies of the future, like a team of people who would understand creativity, would also understand how technology is going to give it life. Like look at the work from WPP on Bastille, right? You can, the concert which you spoke about, an audience can move into that concert, the Bastille concert, virtually, and hi-fi the band. This is completely being deployed by WPP globally. Yeah, these are a bunch of creative guys and media folks and tech guys working together to pull it off.
So
and
I've been told to shut up actually because we are running out of time, but has planning for eyeballs happened in the Bastille concert? In terms of, are you projecting another concert, that buy tickets for that concert? Or, pick up a pair of Levi's jeans or pick up Armani Exchange jeans?
So when you're creating any kind of experience for the metaverse, just like anything else you might have done so far in digital or otherwise, there is a metric that you kind of go with. The only thing we have been able to push, and this is because there's a knowledge gap, right? So what you end up pushing for, one is of course the creative that he just spoke about, and there is creativity in how you kind of depict a brand presence within that experience. I no longer have to be married to having a video or a banner, right? I can now actually, if you're a chocolate brand, while you're in the concert, I can have chocolate bursting on you, right? You could be you could just be experiencing a chocolate fountain for all I
This
care.
would be like a hard stop from her, right? Looks like we're like completely time up.
No. Looking at me, all the session chairs and all the people believe that I am here to barge in, but I'm not like that.
Okay, you
I'm
will
just
let us
here to
talk for
listen.
another 1 hour.
But time is up. I am here just to let you know. That's
All
it.
right. Yeah. So we are almost done. I wanted to actually round up by take their point of views for 30 odd seconds, but we're not going to do that because we're really, short of time and the event has to go on. But just to conclude, Metaverse is not a fad by any means. These are tech tools, which are going to be forming the basis of our life, and our kids are already living it, right? So it's nowhere you can ignore this. And brands are going to step up the game. Agencies are going to step up the game. They are all going to collaborate and make amazing things happen. So collaboration is the new leadership, clearly, right? Which is what Honorable PM Modi spoke about in the 5G launch as well. That people got to collaborate together, whether it's SME segment and all the big tech firms, and grow this ecosystem and set the guardrails for Metaverse for good framework, right? It's like an era shift. There was an internet era, there was an AI era, and now there's a Web3 era. And together as leaders, we got to set frameworks for Metaverse for good and strive towards creating meaningful campaigns. And that is what we pledge to do, all of us. Do we?
Let's get PM Modi
So we
for
conclude.
Neeraj to interview and Anil to get on to the Metaverse.
Let's do that next time. All right, thank you so much, guys. It was wonderful talking to you all. Thank you so much, panelists.